Throughout history, countless individuals who have had near-death experiences, NDEs, share a profound and consistent revelation. We are not our bodies, and death is not the end. These experiences often describe a sense of expansion beyond physical limits, encounters with unconditional love, and the realization that consciousness eternally exists beyond bodily existence.
As I stand up, I get the last thing with hypothermia, which is tunnel vision. There's this big black circle all the way around me at that distance, and it begins to close rather rapidly, like a stage set with a spotlight coming down to black. And I remember I'm looking around and looking up, and I'm looking over, and I'm looking down at the river, and it's going whoosh. And as it closes, I think to myself, oh, I'm blacking out again. But I'm thinking also, what's different this time? What is this? I'd never seen such a thing before. I expected, as this was closing, that it would be the darkness of the curtain fall and I'd be asleep. But this time, when it went to black, I didn't fall asleep. I was awake. It goes to black and I'm unexpectedly still conscious. I'm now confused. I don't know what's going on. And I don't understand anything. Why? Where's the mountain? Why do I have consciousness? I feel like I have my eyes open, but all I see is darkness. And so all these thoughts are running through my head. And then this darkness gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's this crazy thing where it's pitch dark, but I can see in the dark. And way far, far in the distance is a pinprick of light, like a little pop, and pow, light shines, and this is visibly as far away as the furthest star that I could see. But it's the only star in this dark heaven that I'm in. And it rushes toward me. It appears and it rushes toward me, and it begins to fill this darkness with itself really rapidly, traveling an immense distance faster than the speed of light. And I see this thing coming toward me, and it communicates with me telepathically, non-linguistically, no words, just a download of information. And the data was, I'm taking you. And it came with all power. It came with all knowledge. It came with all might. And I'm taking you, and I thought to myself, oh no, you're not. I don't understand what's going on here, but I'm not going anywhere. And I dug down deep inside to put up this willpower that I had, but whatever willpower I had was zero compared to the immensity of the power of this entity. And then this, like a portal, I describe in my book as like a door opens, but I could describe it as a waterfall appears. I could say that it was, well, that's the metaphors I'm using. This waterfall appears, and it's made of light itself, and it's a flow, and on its surface, it's all starlight, all sparkle, colors I'd never seen before. It's the most compelling thing I'd ever witnessed. It's seductive. It's drew me toward itself. And so all of my will vanished. All my self-understanding vanished. All I wanted was it. I often tell it in a certain sequence and a chronology that makes sense to my brain, but that's not the way it happened. It was all together. The first thing that happened to me is I went into a hell of my own making. This hell of my own making was all of the pain that I caused in my life. So I experienced all of the suffering that I gave away from the interior view and personal experience of every single person that I hurt in a chronological sequence in my life. I was in every one of them. Simultaneous to being inside of them and experiencing the pain that I had given them, I was outside of them as the person that I had been, with all of my reasons and emotional status, choosing or emotionally reacting to cause that pain. So I had this bilocated experience, and I felt the shame of the pain that I was causing, not just to the people, but to the divine self, because of this immense love and purity that I was simultaneously perceiving from the unlimited creator who manifests all things, this no thing that is everything. There was a voice. The voice was speaking to me this whole time without language, and it was all around me and inside of me. I know you. I've always known you. Everything about you is known to me. I wasn't being judged. I was simply being shown myself. No matter what I did, I was beloved. And I got bigger and bigger and bigger in this unitive state of this oneness. And I'm carried across this vast distance to sort of this edge. And at this edge, my consciousness is poked outside of this field of heaven. And I can see all of our universe. I can see all of our universe. I can see all of the galaxies, and I can see beyond our universe. I can see the origin of our universe, and beyond the origin of our universe, sort of above and below it and beyond it, I see all these other universes. And then my vision shifts, and I see all of humanity, all of the earthly humanity. I see the earth like a hologram and 7 billion people on it. And the message to me is the same. They are all my beloved. Every single one of them. The amount of love that I love you with, this universe upon universe of love and creation and life that I give to you is the same that I have for every single person. And I see inside every single person. I see everybody not like in a dream or in a vision, like they're real. I see them as real human beings living their lives. Half the world is sleeping. People making love, people being tortured. There's wars and babies being born and people are bored and there's art and there's everything and everybody's doing everything. And inside every single person, I see inside them a golden light. And this golden light is gold itself. It is the purity of their divine original self, and it's in every single person, and they cannot see it inside each other, and everything is covered with this thick foam that extends up above the atmosphere, and it's so dense that no one can see the light inside anyone else as I can see it here, making it plainly true that all of the love of all of these multiverses was for everybody. And all of the planets and all of the galaxies and all, not just for us, like everything is particularly beloved. And when I could hear this, then this inflood of love came to me. There was this beauty, joy, understanding, knowledge, bliss, paradise, awe, adoration, wholeness, light, and it expanded inside of me till I inflated like a balloon.
The biggest thing that sticks with me now is that I remember not feeling the lower vibrational emotions we have here. The jealousy, the anger, the anxiety, all those things, the worry, all these different things. I didn't have any of that. I was totally free, and it was, wow, humans hold on to a lot. It was the realization in that moment, like, oh my gosh, I forgot what this felt like. It was coming back, like you wake up out of a crazy dream, but I was waking up to true reality, basically.
Bit of maybe my time on the other side, the near-death experience that I had when I was 29 years old. I'm 37. That was caused actually from a plant called water hemlock. For those of you that don't know what water hemlock is, it's a poisonous plant, one of the most poisonous plants in North America. To this date, I am the only known survivor that I've communicated with or that anybody's ever introduced me to that has had an interaction with this plant and come back from that with an experience. The plant was created basically like numbness in my peripheral nervous system, which then suffocated me to death. But in all aspects, it was a blessing because what I realized is from the other side of it, what life really is and that we actually don't die. What I have to say about that experience is that the more we struggle to live is the more actually we feel pain when it comes to dying. And what death has taught me is that the more we surrender to this life that we have in embracing all of our challenges and our insecurities and our suffering and our pain, the less pain, resistance, and suffering we actually really do tangibly experience in this physical body. And for some of us, that might seem really lofty and ridiculous to say, like, we can't feel pain in this body anymore. But it's not that we don't feel pain, it's that we carry a new perspective about pain that actually liberates us from a lot of the lessons or difficulties actually that God wants to show us in our life, because God is actually showing us what we need to learn in this life about life and love itself through these experiences.
I was just floating. I couldn't see a body, like I didn't have a body. And I didn't see a white, you know how people say like you have a tunnel. There was no tunnel. I didn't see anyone. I didn't see any people. I was just floating, and I felt so good, really, that I got rid of all this stuff behind me that's on this earth. You know, all my problems suddenly went away. Everything had gone. The stress I had with my ex-partner, you know, and the dealings with her cult and all the rest of it. It's like, oh, I could just be me in that space.
So I wouldn't say it was like projected on a wall or a movie screen opened up. It was more like I just could access it. And it was exactly what people talk about with the life review, in that I saw most of my life going by like a movie. I saw good and bad. And one of the things that really stuck with me that I want to share with you is about bad people. Why do bad things happen? Why is there evil? I had a good childhood growing up. I had a lot of happy moments. My parents were, good parents for the most part, but my father was abusive. He had probably what most people would describe as a sex addiction, and he took that out on me. And in that life review, then I was able to see that we plan our lives, and this is very hard to hear for a lot of people. We planned that. If you want to look at another story, Betty Guadagno talks about this as well. We planned to play what could be described as good and evil, right? So he went to Earth to learn things. His soul went there because it wanted to experience certain things which would make his soul stronger, and consequently make all of us stronger, because we're all one. And I went there to serve in a space where I could make that happen for him. So I could put myself in a space where he could do what he needed to do to grow his soul, to grow our souls, and likewise the same thing for me. So that helped me understand that situation so much better when I was able to access that memory of that life review experience when I came back to Earth. And then as the life review is coming to an end, I'm realizing, because here's another really interesting thing about good and evil and all of that, right? So I've left my human body, and when we're in our human bodies, we're under the veil, and we have these expectations which are very different than when you go home. Because like I was just talking about, if I planned a life where I agreed to be used, which seems so strange on this side, that's a really good view into how we are thinking so differently on the other side. So here I am in this life review, and the only person who judges you, the only entity that judges you on the other side is you. So the only person judging me is me. Every other entity around me, every other soul, every other person is so loving and compassionate and, holding me and cheering me on for going through these things. But I'm still chastising myself about these choices I made, because I'm still partially connected with my human body, with my human self. Angela's still in there. And as I'm chastising myself, I'm thinking, well, on Earth, we're told if we don't do things right, we're supposed to go to purgatory or hell or something like that. Maybe I should do that. And Melanie, because it's all telepathic, is at the exact same time thinking, wait, no, you are a very good person, and we love you, and we support you, and right, all in the same moment, right? Just like when I was in the hospital room, and it's all happening instantaneously.
This lesson invites you to explore the idea that your true essence is not confined to the body, but is something far greater, eternal, boundless, and interconnected with all of existence. Consider this. If you are not just your body, what does that mean for how you live your life? How does it change the way you see challenges, relationships, and even your sense of purpose? By reflecting on the accounts of those who have glimpsed beyond physical reality, we can begin to shift our perspective on life, death, and the nature of our true being. Through this lesson, we will delve into the wisdom that NDEs offer and explore how embracing this truth can bring peace, fearlessness, and a deeper sense of meaning to our daily lives.